My grandfather was 103 and he smoked cigars every day and drank whiskey and ate steaks. Oh, really? Fantastic. Thank you for that information. I'm going to recommend whiskey, steaks, and cigarettes to everyone I meet. Now that I know. What does that tell us? That tells us your grandfather, in spite of all that, made it. Can you imagine how healthy this guy was? But your grandfather might have been alive at a time when there was no such thing as not organic. And he might have been alive. So he was really much stronger and able to do it. You're not going to see that stuff happening again. Anyway, drinking a Diet Coke daily, you change. If you're doing that, change. Do something else. Drink something else. There's so many other good things. I don't know why this was up here. If it's a question, like, can I do that? Can I get away with it? Yeah, you can get away with it. You can get away with a couple cigarettes a day. You can get away with taking some drug every day. Probably get away with it. Could snort heroin. Could snort cocaine. Could snort whatever else people snort. If you did it just once, because you said you drank one Coke a day, you could do all that stuff. Now, if you take these drugs, if you smoke these cigarettes, are you going to be in your best? Are you going to be optimally functioning? Are you going to feel fantastic? No, you can't. There is no better high in the world, no better high, no better feeling in the world than health. You got to go back and look at children to understand health. Health is you can't sit still. You got to just keep running and moving, and you feel so good, and you laugh. Everything's funny, and you're in a great. This is health, and your mind, and for an adult, health is not only having all this energy, but it's also having all of these, the ability to look at situations and understand them, and you have compassion over people and all this, just being healthy. It's just, but the sense, the feeling of being healthy, where all your cells are working, is fantastic. Now you take a drug, you take whatever it is, cocaine makes people feel good. Speed, people take that because it makes them feel good. Heroin makes them feel good. Alcohol makes them feel good. But you can only feel good from a toxin if you're already toxic. If you're already toxic because you're eating and living a lifestyle that keeps you toxic, then another toxin is going to change your toxicity. So you feel better than you did. But if you're not toxic, if you're healthy, if you're not ingesting any toxins, if you're living a really good, healthy life, and you go to bed early and you just feel fantastic, any toxin, any intoxication of any kind is not going to feel good. A glass of wine. Oh, I just like a glass of wine with dinner. Okay, it's because you're toxic. But if you weren't toxic, it wouldn't feel good. You'd say, I don't feel good now. Huh?